Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 5th episode of the Hometown Hero Hour. I am your host, Captain Spartacus.
And I'm Dancor.
And...
I'm Delta G, your overlord in the sky.
He's back! Oh, we didn't even rehearse that. That's how genuinely excited we are to have Delta G back this week. This will be a lot of fun. So
thanks for having me back.
So this week has been a pretty big one. We had the Super Bowl and...
Eagles.
Yeah, that's right.
Haven't won the first time in what, like since the 60s?
Yeah, I mean, obviously
Crazy.
This is not a sports talk show. I'm about the furthest thing from a sports talk show that you could get, but I watch it. It was awesome. It was a good freaking game.
It was a good game.
And the Olympics started on Thursday in South Korea, and I am eternally sad that I can't be there. I lived in South Korea for a couple years, and I was mostly in like the southwest part of the country, but I love Korea. I wish I could be there. That would be so fun. So we do have some other news and information items for this week before we get started into our main topic tonight. The first one is that we have a couple of upcoming movies that got released this last week. The first one is that Nintendo is teaming up with Illumination, the studio that made Minions, for a freaking Mario movie! A Mario movie.
Gosh.
That'll be cool.
This is one of those that it's like, why hasn't this happened earlier?
Yeah, but I think Illumination's going to do a good job. Those Minions are just one step away from Goombas already, right?
Yeah.
So I think that'll be really cool. Keep our eyes open for more information about the Mario movie that's going to come out soon.
Cool.
Yeah. So I've always thought it's kind of weird that you can't go to a movie by yourself, though. I tried it. It was weird. I didn't like it. But if you go with somebody else, how is that any different? You go and you sit next to the other person.
And you never talk.
But you're not allowed to talk. You just sit there in silence and watch the movie, and then afterwards you say, oh yeah, we both saw this. We were both there for the same movie. But going by yourself is weird. Although
that's interesting.
The interaction is no different. I've always kind of wondered about that.
And watching something at home, you just throw in a movie and you watch it here, you're fine.
Yeah, maybe because you're out in public by yourself, where it's typically more of a group thing. I don't know. Maybe I'm just weird. But I've always found that going to a movie by myself has been odd. I don't like it.
Although I guess you could be that awkward guy that gets, finds whoever has like the group and try to get right in between the two groups so you can just get all snuggly.
Yeah, that's right. Make some new friends. Go to the movie by yourself and make some friends. Dancor's got some game updates for us this week.
Okay. So first off, EA, we need to have a conversation. They sent out a tweet. We'll put it right here. This says, "We believe in microtransactions."
We freaking know. We know.
Like, you made like $700 million off of them. We understand it, but you know what? Here's the thing. They're bad. The way you do them is bad, and you should feel bad.
You should feel bad.
So, just stop. Really. Moving on.
Yeah.
We have some free with gold games this month. You got them over there?
Yes.
Yeah, so we've got Shadow Warrior.
Right.
So that's a playoff of the old classic that they had on the computer, right?
I don't know.
Shadow Warrior with the
maybe I've downloaded it, but I haven't gotten a chance to play it yet.
Okay.
So and that's available until the 8th, which is already passed.
What? No, it says till the 28th.
28th. I'm blind. It's still available.
There you go.
It's available all month. That's kind of cool.
So then we've got Zombie till the 15th. And Split Second. I'm not familiar with either one of those.
No, that looks like that's an Xbox 360 game. I don't know if that's also available. Oh, maybe that's what it is. Warrior's available all month, but Split Second was a 360 game they've made backwards compatible.
Okay.
And you have Zombie as well.
Interesting. And then for the second half of the month, you have Assassin's Creed Chronicles India.
I've never even heard of that.
No, I don't even know what it is.
I've never even heard of that one, but... There you go.
But none of those are any of the ones that I'm really excited for. The one that I'm the most excited for is the fact that they're bringing back Crazy Taxi.
Yeah, Crazy Taxi!
Oh my gosh, I played that so much when I was a kid.
Yeah, I remember renting that when I was a kid. My oldest brother, actually owned a Sega Dreamcast. And we played it on the Sega Dreamcast. Whenever I hear the word Crazy Taxi, I always have Offspring pop into my head going, yeah.
So much.
Because they did the whole soundtrack.
Yeah, they did the whole thing.
I don't think there's anything in Crazy Taxi that's not done by Offspring.
That is too
so
funny.
Good freaking times.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, and then we've got the games that are free with the PlayStation Network this month.
Right, and so for that we've got Deus Ex Mankind Divided, which is the expansion to Deus Ex Human Revolution. Right?
Cool.
Kind of the next step in
Yeah,
that. And
sweet.
then what's the other one that we have there?
Batman Telltale series.
That's cool.
free on PlayStation Network.
That's not bad.
That's very cool. Delta G's played a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really fun. I'm actually waiting for the 5th episode in the 2nd season to come out, the final episode for Batman Season 2. So I've already played Season 1, and I'm waiting for Season 2. So.
Cool.
Nice.
Sweet. So,
yeah, kudos to Telltale. They always do a good job with their games.
Yeah, and it's a relatively new emerging genre, I would say. Right? Telltale has
chapter-based story.
Yeah, Tales of the Borderland, The Walking Dead, Batman, Guardians of the Galaxy, which Delta G has also played a bit of, right?
Yeah. So I finished that about a week ago.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was really fun. I really liked the choices.
And you play Minecraft Story Mode too, right?
Yeah,
and that's all the same.
I played all of the Telltale games
So,
up to this point. So yeah.
Cool.
Nice.
Any questions about any Telltale series? Hit Delta G up or hit us up, and we'll
Put
hit
it
him
in the
up for you.
comments and
Put
we'll
it down
find
below.
him.
Yeah, we'll make him answer. Cool. So what's next? Oh, Red Dead Redemption 2. There was some news about that this last week
Yeah, so it's going to be released on the 26th.
of October. It got
Nice.
pushed back. It was supposed to come out this spring, but it's been delayed. A lot of people are upset about that because it was supposed to come out so soon,
Right.
and now it got delayed like another 6 months or whatever. But
But these things kind of happen, you know.
I mean, I would hope that if something gets delayed, it's for a good reason,
Yeah.
so that they can improve the quality of whatever, right? They don't want to release a broken game.
It better be worth the wait.
Yeah. Don't release an incomplete game, because that's awful.
That's even worse.
Not calling out anyone specifically in this video, but if you've released an incomplete game, you know who the freak you are. Don't do it. All right. So, moving on. Next on our news and information list is that the World of Warcraft EU Arena Championships happened this last week. It was OTP, Method, Rocket, and somebody else I can't remember that were the top 4. I think it came down to Method and Rocket Gaming for the EU finals, and then you know the NA Arena champions and the EU champions will face off at BlizzCon.
Oh,
later.
cool. That'll be worth watching.
Yeah, in March. The finals are at BlizzCon in March. So that'll be cool. I didn't seek it out. I accidentally stumbled upon it when I was on Twitch and watched some of the EU championships, the first day of the EU championships, and it was really cool.
Yeah.
The rules for the arena battles are really complicated.
Really? I haven't really watched a whole lot of the WoW.
Right,
arena
and this
stuff.
was the first time that I had. It's not just 3-on-3 classes going against each other. There's like special trinkets and like cooldowns, and like there's just like weird. It just seems like there's really weird rules that aren't in like normal PvE World of Warcraft. And then like the scoring system is kind of crazy, and the way that they pick their classes, and then like the losing team gets to pick the arena, and like I don't know. It's all, look it up or we'll put it up or something, because it's all kind of crazy.
That sounds
and,
interesting.
Yeah, but it was really interesting, and the first team to lose a character, to have, you know, to the first team to have one of their players die, loses. It's not
the
just
whole team.
It's not just the whole team. The first time when someone dies, it's over. And if it's different,
Oh, wow.
it could be different, but that's what I saw.
Huh.
As soon as, you know, one of the mages or one of the rogues or whoever died, then the match was over.
Interesting.
Yeah, weird. Maybe because it's so hard to 2v3. I don't know. Maybe
it's just a waste
because,
of time.
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
That's-
Maybe because
that's
it would
weird.
just be a waste of time. I'm not sure. But so then the next item that we wanted to get to is our favorite Super Bowl commercials.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of
is
Super
fun.
Bowls, mine, I know for sure, was definitely the Peter Dinklage
Yep.
and Morgan
Hands
Freeman
down.
Doritos Mountain Dew. Oh my gosh!
In fact, we should play that.
Oh yeah,
here.
we'll put it up right here. So I can't tell you how many times I've watched that commercial. Probably
so
6 or
good.
7 at least, and I've been showing everybody, and I just think it was really well done.
Well,
and it
and
was
look
so
at what
funny.
Peter Dinklage did with having Busta Rhymes on his side. I mean, Busta Rhymes can really, I mean, he's got that words per minute down. And trying to match that with
That's
an
skill.
actor,
Skill.
I mean, I can't even imagine how many hours he would have had to put in to practice. You know, they had that little commercial bit where Busta Rhymes and them are trying to amp up the characters, Peter Dinklage and and Morgan Freeman, they're kind of giving them those pep talks before they're supposed to go out and do their little rap battle.
What? I didn't see that. No, there was like
so they're sitting there,
wow.
and he's making him. We should find it and put it in here too.
We'll put it up.
He'll make him. He makes him do wordplay and makes him practice so he can get his words per minute up and talk faster. And I'm just sitting here thinking, this must have been exactly how they got to this point to do it.
Right.
Because the lip sync is perfect on it.
It's so good.
And that's an impressive feat on Peter Dinklage's part because he's not a rapper. But he had to emulate that.
Yeah.
So mad props to great actors. And I mean, obviously, Morgan Freeman's Morgan Freeman.
Yeah.
Right? So seeing him doing
and
that
he was
just
flawless.
great.
He was really good. It reminded me a lot of when Chevy Chase did Call Me Al. He was in the Call Me Al music video.
Yeah.
And how he memorized the lyrics to that song on the way to the music video.
Oh,
and
wow.
then just lip synced it perfectly.
Right.
And that's a great music video. It
That's
kind of
impressive.
reminded me of that to a certain degree.
Right.
So it was a lot of fun. I have to say though that Tide really took the commercial crown. Cracked me up.
It was funny, and what's funny is the
Super Bowl card.
Jim Hopper.
Or
I can't remember his actual name.
I know his actual name, but of course because we're
because
doing
we're in
our
the middle of
episode
this,
right
I'm
now,
totally blanking.
I can't remember.
But he even said that this is kind of his first franchise that he's been involved in, and it was because they came to him and just said, "Hey, we think this might be funny. You might be interested in this." Made him read kind of the script, and he said that he was just laughing.
Oh,
He
that's
said,
awesome.
"This is too good to not do." But he's never done any kind of endorsements or anything like that, so this is his
Right.
first deal.
Cool.
So it was like, this is too fun to not do, which I thought was a fun twist of that.
I also thought it was funny that Tide had like 7 ads in the Super Bowl. They spent millions and millions of dollars to rebrand themselves. They are no longer the purveyors of the forbidden fruit, right? It's not about the Tide Pods anymore. It's about Jim Hopper, and it's a Tide ad. Brilliant. Brilliant
needed to
rebranding
do that.
strategy.
Well, they had to do it because of everything that's been going on.
I actually
Lots
saw-
of negative. Yeah.
I actually saw a Tide Pod commercial that illustrated that there's now locking bags. There's a lock on the Tide Pod bags so that kids can't just get into them and eat them. And I know some stores were selling the Tide Pod bags in locked plastic containers and carding people. Like, what? What have we
What
come
world
to?
do we live in?
I don't know, man. I don't know, but thin the herd. Eat all the Tide Pods you want. If you're stupid enough to eat poison, eat poison.
Because, yeah, I mean, at some point you gotta wonder.
Jeez. Jeez.
That's
But anyway, brilliant rebranding strategy on the part of Tide.
They did a really good job with that.
Genius.
And since we're kind of on movies and kind of trailers and
Yes.
things, we also had Solo, a Star Wars story, have their trailer kind of pop out.
Yeah, it had a TV spot during the Super Bowl, but because it cost millions of dollars, they waited to drop their full trailer until the day after, or after the Super Bowl. I don't remember. It was one of the two.
I don't remember either. I saw it online. But call me cautiously optimistic.
Sure, that's a
On that
safe
one.
call. That's a safe call. Yeah.
Like it looks like it can be entertaining. I'm just still. I mean, you heard what we had to say last week. Really,
yeah, there's
on it.
nothing we could say now that we didn't say last week. So
Yep,
yeah.
very much.
But the trailer was very cool.
Yeah,
Very cool trailer.
optimistic.
Yeah.
Like I said, could be pretty good.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
there it is. So now that our news and information segment is done, we're going to get right into tonight's main topic, and that is our ideal MMO. And we are very experienced gamers. I've been playing games my whole life. I would say MMORPG is my genre of choice.
Yeah.
I'm primarily a PvP or a PvE player. I'm not a PvP.
You just shocked me there. I
No,
was like, what?
I'm not so much of a PvP player. I really like PvE and you know, guild raids and that kind of stuff. So we're going to talk a little bit tonight about what features and things our ideal MMO would have, and hopefully see something like this implemented in the future. So,
And I think that you kind of hit one of the important caveats that we need to start this with. We are coming from a very specific perspective.
yeah, sure.
We're not hardcore PvPers. I've done quite a bit of PvP, especially in my Warlock and WoW.
Yeah. But
but-
battlegrounds and stuff,
But
right? Like, not
battlegrounds and
competitive.
things, not competitive, not any of the arena stuff. So that kind of flavors what we're going to be talking about. So obviously all of this is just our opinions, and if you feel differently, please put in the comments. Let us know what you guys think about what your perfect MMO.
Yeah, because this is our fun opinion, just based on lots of years of experience. And if anyone's a PvPer in our group, it's Delta G.
Well, I'm more of an FPS.
Sure, so like Destiny and stuff like that, right?
FPS PvP. So when you guys are MMO PvE, I'm FPS PvP. So it's a lot different for me. But yeah, I do a lot more PvP on MMOs. Like on my rogue, I would go up and stab people for fun, because why not?
Because that's what you do.
Yeah, let's get into some of the lists or some of the topics that we have.
Yeah, we've got Dan up first with some of his.
Yeah, so I'm going to kick things off, kind of my ideas of what we would have as kind of my perfect MMO if I were to have one. So the first things first, you have to have a reason to stay. You have to have an immersive world. And I think that the best example of this is World of Warcraft. And one of the reasons why I keep coming back to it, because the world feels huge. And even when I have to go back to Kalimdor and go and explore on something, and if I'm on a flying mount, the place still feels gigantic. You have to actually leave a place. You don't have all of this instancing to make things feel really small and contained. It's this big sprawling universe. And I think that that's important for staying power for an MMO, because it helps you feel like you live in a world. You live in this place. This is your alternate character. I kind of think of like Sword Art Online, where right, you live here now.
There's my ideal MMO.
Yes.
Although I don't want to die in real life.
Right.
But anyway,
we can't have that.
I digress.
But we need that. We need this large world to play around with. And I think WoW is kind of the perfect example. I would steal from that. We'll keep that, because other places seems to be you run up to a place, choose where you want to go in a menu, and then you just appear there. Yeah. And I think that kind of takes away from some of that feeling like you're in a real place, because you don't just do that.
I mean, World of Warcraft has fast travel, but you fly on a mount and you fly there. I mean, it's fast, but it does actually take time to get to where you want to go. So yeah, you do feel the scope of this world.
And that used to bother me.
Really?
Yeah, it used to bug me that it would take me 5 minutes to fly from Orgrimmar down to like Ungoro. But I get it now. Like over time and playing other things where it's more instanced, I started noticing that was the thing that kind of made the world feel bigger.
Okay, I like that. I like that.
Which is a little counterintuitive. I wouldn't have called it myself, but
I can also see that too. Yeah, I can see both sides.
Okay, so getting into some of the more mechanical pieces, because this is where all the fun really lies, is what would you change in terms of the mechanics? I think that the first thing that I would have to go for, in terms of the targeting and in the style, I would want active targeting. Think of examples like Terra or Neverwinter, where instead of clicking on a character and saying, I want to do abilities against that character, it is, you are aiming kind of like a first-person shooter. And wherever you are pointing your reticle at, in that area or whatever you have highlighted over, things are happening to that target. So you can do things like circle strafe around someone and being able to do your abilities at the same time. It keeps this mobility really high.
Right. Yeah, I like that.
So with that would be both, damaging abilities as well as healing abilities. I think that having something like, let's pull up Wildstar, for example. Wildstar has his medic and the spellslinger, and you can see that the medic has its abilities go out in a cone, and as it's firing its cone, you can see that it's able to damage people, but it's also able to heal at the same time. So with that's your healing indication for there. And I think with the parties, you'd have to let them be able to see what that is, but not necessarily your enemies for PvP.
That's doable.
But having something for them to do and working on positioning and having to be in the right spots to get the best healing for the group, and having kind of that piece, I think would make healing interesting for them.